element back up. You can, Mike, but usually this is pretty good. And unless I start hearing like weird audio crackles, like while we're going, then I'll probably say, "Hey, let's stop. Have you record the rest." But if I haven't heard anything from, only me and James have had the issues, and it's
So
mainly
far.
me. So,
So the rest of us are due.
Come on,
yeah,
Ashley.
actually, Paul, can you please pray over us while I'm getting up the checklist?
Sure, Lord, thank you so much for today, this day that you have made. I pray that we would glorify you through this weird opportunity. And I pray everything goes smoothly from here. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Is someone clicking or tapping or something?
I don't know. Is it this?
Yes, that.
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
you, Paul?
Sorry, I do that while I pray sometimes, apparently.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
I don't
Geek
have
Devotions.
any of the commands up right now, Geek Devotions, but you're not first anyway, nor were you, Paul. But welcome, guys.
Well,
I-
on Twitch I was.
I was having some major audio issues, so that's why we're behind.
Oh, is that
So we're still catching up, but it's all on
American
me.
Sign
I'm very
Language for
sorry.
major audio issues?
Wow. Okay. So you sounded fine, Paul. Brian, can you tell me a little bit about your day, please?
My day has been very boring. I had a lot of
Okay,
meetings.
that's good. Mike, can you tell me a bit about your day?
Well, today I got a letter from NASA, and
That's
they took me up in outer
wonderful.
space.
James, can you tell me about your day, please?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Oh,
Nice.
yeah, actually, I want to hear more about that.
I wish I was an Oscar Mayer wiener.
Wow.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
any of you guys have a hard stop time for tonight?
I mean,
Nope.
like, if we go till midnight, I'll be in a bad shape tomorrow.
Okay,
but-
well-
Oh, no,
Try
no,
not
no.
to-
Everyone's committed to recording all night long.
All night long. All night long. All night.
Wow.
No, midnight is when Fun Mike comes out.
That's where Dead Mike comes out.
Oh. Wah, 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 wah. Okay.
But yeah,
No.
close to 11:30 as we can, but it's not a hard
Okay.
time. Like 11.
Did I just go quiet again?
No.
Nope.
Nope, still there.
Okay, because
Kick it harder.
I haven't
Boom.
touched anything, but I got a little beep thing that says, "Oh, what did you just plug in?" Nothing. I'm not plugging anything in. Stop popping up. What are you doing? What for me? I'm not plugging anything in.
Reinstall.
Line
Nope.
in
It's
again.
time for a Windows update.
Yep.
You just went quiet, yes.
What the crud?
Plug it in, plug it in. Come on, Francisco. The
Oh,
line
no.
is.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, welcome you to an episode of Reading Lips.
The Reading Lips podcast. We have 0 listeners.
It's the crawl of shame. I can hear you now, Francisco. At least I think I can. Nope, not
Heard
anymore.
something.
The Reading Lips podcast. We have 800 downloads and 0 listens.
Yeah. Well, at least you're magenta again. It's slowly going away. No, we can't hear you.
Hello.
Now we
Okay.
can.
There we
Now.
Yeah.
So I don't know why it's going to keep coming. That's going to keep popping in and off. I hope it doesn't keep doing that, but let's do our best here, I guess. I don't know.
I believe
Your
in you.
best.
Oh,
Losers whine about their best.
That's right.
And that's all we're going to say of that
Yeah.
line.
Is that the best you can do?
Oh my word. Okay. Do you guys all have your one like and a classic maker, one dislike and a tragic maker?
So,
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
but there's so much to say.
Let's say
Yeah, there really is. Yeah.
formal and informal protest of only having to limit it to one like and one classic maker.
Yep.
Well,
Your protest is not noted. Do any of you have spiritual speculations?
yes.
I do.
Yes.
All right, everyone does. Awesome.
This is gonna get
Paul.
weird.
I'm writing it as we speak.
If you don't have one, Paul, I think it's fine, right?
I no, I
Pretty
don't.
sure-
It's just my mic is.
Oh, okay.
I'm having equipment malfunctions now.
It's just one of those nights, and that's okay. Okay. And so we are. Who? Raise your hand if you're gonna try doing a Zorg impression for this little script thing.
I think James is
James.
the.
I'll
James,
do
you're. Okay.
Okay, and then I will try it as well.
I could try it as well if we're all just pitching.
Yeah, I mean that's fine.
I mean, it is a Southern accent, so I thought you had that Cajun one.
I wasn't going to use my full Cajun,
All right.
but
Hopefully this
okay.
will work.
You want me to
So
do a
then-
quick read of it just to see how it sounds?
I mean, we're recording now, so we'll
Okay.
just go ahead and start. And well, thumbs up if you guys are ready to go. Awesome. Okay, so right now let's do our 5 seconds of silence. So we'll start it now. Thank you.
Okay, Power Rangers, let's do it!
Oh, please don't take me out here.
Take me out to the ball.
And you took you
Yeah.
out. And you're back.
I am back.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you know what? I'm just not gonna tell it.
The
We-
pop-up up there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
leave
just
it
gotta
up.
leave the pop-up up. Exactly.
Yeah.
The background fuzz from the heater air conditioner, it got
Yeah.
slightly muted for a second. That's how we knew you went out. But then it came back
Oh.
full power.
Oh,
And
well,
that's how we knew
good.
you were back.
Dun, da, da, da.
I am curious if I do need to update this at all.
Don't let
Linus,
curiosity get the best of you now.
Oh, there's a new update. Maybe I should try that right now. No, no. Okay,
It's the worst episode ever.
there's been worse.
I think we deleted those.
And Geek at Arms is proud to be a part of it.
You have a funny definition of proud.
Have you listened to Geek at Arms?
By the way, guys, I started listening to when you covered this last year, so I'm sorry that it sounds like you guys were. It seemed like this was a good movie that you were really hoping to cover. So it'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say, though. But I didn't. If feel free to repeat anything or not, I'll leave that up to you.
Like we can remember anything we said that long ago.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like, and come on, like our show formats are different enough. I love it when we review the same movies just because
Yes.
it is so
Agreed.
different.
Yeah, totally.
That is
Right.
true.
When I told my wife what movie we were doing, I said, "Yeah, I have to watch Fifth Element again." And she goes, "Correction, you get to watch Fifth Element again."
Oh, she's one of those. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I kind of watched it through different eyes when I'm reviewing it for this show, so it was fun.
yeah.
I noticed new things
Nice.
that I wouldn't have before.
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
Different goals.
Then I think so let's here. I'll go first just to set the bar really low. Then James, you can do it. Then Mike, you can finish with the impressions. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, let me bring this up. Okay, here we go. It's light, handles adjustable for easy carrying, good for righties and lefties. Break down into 4 parts, undetectable by X-ray, ideal for quick, discrete interventions. A word on firepower. Titanium recharger, 3,000 round clip with bursts of 3 to 300, and with replay button. Another Zorg invention. It's even easier to listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast. Go ahead, James.
It's light, handles adjustable for easy carrying, good for righties and lefties. Breaks down to 4 parts, undetectable by X-ray. Ideal for quick, discrete interventions. A word on firepower. Titanium recharger, 3,000 round clip with bursts of 3 to 300, and with the replay button, another Zorg invention. It's even easier to listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
All right, so now that we've got the safe take, like we know that's going on.
Yeah.
Now I just get to play with no pressure.
Yeah.
Yes,
This was just for
exactly.
fun, just for
Yes.
It's light, handles adjustable for easy carrying, good for righties and lefties. Breaks down into 4 parts, undetectable by X-ray, ideal for quick, discrete interventions. Word on firepower. Titanium recharger, 3,000 clip with bursts of 3 to 300. And with the replay button, another Zorg invention, it's even easier to listen to this episode of the Retro Rewind podcast.
You know, I think I like
I
Mike's. I just
stumbled
need you to be more evil.
Yeah. I need to be more evil.
No,
I feel like-
that's fine.
I feel
Don't
like
worry
after
about
someone said Retro Rewind podcast, someone should have gone, my favorite.
Cut, print.
Hold on,
Cut
hold
that
on,
out
hold
and
on.
edit that in.
Hold on.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
that's
word.
Hold on. Let me just that my favorite.
it. There we go. I like it.
One of those two will work.
Will work. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we just did that. I do not have the right intro. So we're
Yeah,
just
Adam's family.
I debated putting Adam's Family in there just for you, Paul, but we'll just forego the intro.
All right.
It's Travis. We're still in the TR3 right now. We're not back on the pod because it's still blown up.
Yeah, I'm irrationally sad that Alice has died. But anyway, that is
She's not died. She was
Spoiler.
stolen. Well, I mean, I don't think
she's just kind of not exploded, but
Yeah, she exploded, but
Yeah,
it's a secret that she's still alive.
well, I'll still be irrationally sad while she's exploded.
Yeah.
All right, that's fair. All right, so I'm going to take a drink of water, then we'll actually get into the show proper here. Okay, just heard the music. Welcome, Rewinders and new listeners, to the Retro Rewind podcast, where we take a fresh look at movies and games from 15 or more years ago. I'm your captain of the pod, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by I am your captain of the former pod, now the TR3, Francisco Ruiz, and I'm joined by your XO and mine, Paul, the PaulJPowers.com Powers.
Hi.
Hi, Paul. And for this film, The Fifth Element. Wait, what? Oh, sorry. I got a little confused.
That's my joke.
Yeah, okay. Also, for this discussion of the film, The Fifth Element, we welcome back aboard radio broadcaster and one of the hosts of the Geek at Arms podcast, James Felix. Hey, James.
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Oh, my bad. Well, you know what? This is a first. We've never had a meat popsicle on this show before, so glad to have you. In addition, we are glad to have back aboard other co-hosts of the Geek at Arms podcast and Ship's Valet, Mike Fraley. Hey, Mike.
Michael Fraley Multipass.
And finally, we welcome back the end of the Triforce of Geek at Arms, Brian Ray. And now, Brian, you have sailed with us 3 times. Do you know what that means?
That means that I get to choose a title, yes? A position aboard the ship.
Not quite. You now are promoted to shipman, an official position on the...
That means you have duty to do.
Yes. But what department would you like to serve in? I know the TR3 we're a little cramped in here, but we could still pick a department if we ever get the pod back.
I think you need an archivist.
Oh, we have some, but you could be in the archives, ship's archives. Awesome.
We need
Junior
help in there.
archivist.
Yes, the ship's junior archivist.
Yeah, considering our archives got depleted, some of them, we could sure use the help.
Yes, indeed. And now they have, so congratulations, Brian. And now they have a quick flyby of who we are. Paul, can you give us a quick overview of the production specs for The Fifth Element?
Sure. Heart was released May
What?
11th,
What?
2006.
What?
Runs 2 hours and 6 minutes.
What
It's
is
directed-
Heart, Paul?
Heart. You said we're reviing The Fifth
Oh,
Element.
dang it.
And every Captain Planet fan knows that The Fifth Element is Heart. So that movie was directed by Hani Saptura and was written by Aramandonato.
Okay, that's wonderful, Paul, but we're actually talking about the 1997 Bruce Willis starring Luc Besson directing The Fifth Element.
What? After all that? All right, fine. The Fifth Element was released May 9th, 1997, runs 6 minutes over 2 hours.
Yes, that one. Thank you.
It's rated PG-13, is directed by Luc Besson. Whatever. It's written by this guy and with the help of Robert Mark Kamen, with lead stars being Bruce Willis, Mia Jovovich, Mia, and Gary Oldman, and Ian Holm, and all right. The music was composed by Eric Serra. Are you ready for the box office trivia?
I'm ready. Paul, you're
Yeah.
coming in really hot. I don't know if you're just very impassioned right now. Does he
Yeah.
sound hot to any of you guys or not?
Yes, he's clipping just a bit.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like
I
4
do
inches
have the
further
mic
away from the
closer
mic.
because it fell.
So probably
Let
just,
me-
put a little further away.
All right. All right. Let's do that again.
You like this movie, Fat Piggy Gig? And welcome, by the way, Fat Piggy Gig and Bobo and Ashley and Kirk and everyone who's here. Thank you so much for being here. Okay. End
Watch
of
out,
end mode.
Hansel. I'm so hot right now.
Continue, Paul. I think you were at.
All right. The
Written
Fifth
by.
Element.
If you want to do
Fifth-
the whole thing, that's fine.
Yeah. Because you said I was clipping, right?
Yeah. Go for it.
All right. The Fifth Element. Is this a good line here?
I think so. Yeah.
All right. The Fifth Element was released May 9th, 1997, and runs 6 hours over the two. Sorry.
Whoa.
Sometimes it feels that way.
I thought
Long
Seven
movie.
Samurai was but long.
Yeah. No. Wait until you see the Fifth Element for the fifth time.
The fifth, sixth, and seventh element.
Yeah. All right. The Fifth Element was released May 9th, 1997, and runs 6 minutes over the 2-hour mark. It's rated PG-13 and was directed by Luc Besson. It was also written by this dude, along with the help of Robert Mark Kamen, with lead stars being Bruce Willis, Mia Jovovich, Mia, Gary Oldman, Ian Holm, Chris Tucker, you know. And the music was composed by Eric Serra. You ready for the box office trivia?
I am ready. Mike, James, and Brian, are you guys ready?
Not even a
Ready.
little bit.
Let's do
Well,
it.
that's too bad. And everyone here live in chat is welcome to play along as well. Go for it, Paul.
All right. The Fifth Element was made for about $90 million and went on to earn over $263 million at the box office.
Whoa.
So given this fact, how high in the box office do you think it ranks among the movies released theatrically in 1997?
All right. Let's start with James. What is your guess?
Not just because it's the Fifth Element, but I'm going to go top 5, and I'm going to say number 3.
Number
Oh,
3.
nice.
Wow. Okay. Brian, what's it you?
7.
7. Okay. Mike?
I'm going to say that it came in 5th because that would be just too perfect.
That would be. I'm pretty sure Men in Black was probably number 1 that year. That'd be my guess. I think that's when it came out. Or wait, no, that is 96. Okay. Well,
Men
it
in
doesn't
Black
matter.
did come out.
I know it came out at some point. But I think it came out in 97 is what I mean.
Yeah, it did.
Oh, okay. I wasn't way off. My guess, though, you took 3, 7, and 5. All right, guys, I'm going to Price is Right you and at least 2 of you and say 4.
You're supposed to
You go right in between.
You're supposed to choose a prime number. You're supposed to pick 11.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. And then here in chat, Bob, of course, goes with 42. Rushmore also guesses 4. See, we're on the same page.
Because
Me
top
and Kurt.
4 and nothing more.
Yeah, exactly. But Paul, where did it actually end up?
If you had picked 11, sir, you would have won. Because
Dang
it
it!
came in at 9.
Oh, okay.
So whoever said 7, you win.
Which was Brian. Good job,
Hey,
Brian.
congratulations.
Fabulous prizes.
Yes. Honor and glory,
Oh.
which never saved
2
anyone,
tickets
apparently.
to Boston's Paradise.
Make it pop, pop, pop. Oh, my word. But thank you for those factoids, Paul. And let's see if any of them factor into our memory mind meld or subsequent roundtable discussion, which we'll get into once Travis has located our target film.
Alert. Alert. Target located. Spoilers incoming. Establishing analysis vector.
250 years into the future.
Major Dallas, you've been selected for a mission of the utmost importance. What mission?
The race to save the human race is in the hands of one man.
Let's gotta play it hard. Let's play it hard.
Bruce Willis.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
The Fifth Element, rated PG-13.
I want to see that film.
Man, whenever...
That trailer does not match the tone of the movie at all.
Not so
I did not
much.
see
That's if Michael Bay directed The Fifth Element, then that trailer would match perfectly. But you know what, that TV spot probably did jog some memories for us. So let's find out what our memory mind meld synopsis for The Fifth Element was. Aziz, light. The professor and Dylan 90210 need to read the hieroglyphics before the walking jukeboxes take the fifth element away. Then the duck robots tell Bilbo the priest that he needs to save the girl from Resident Evil because she is the fifth element. John McClane is moonlighting as a taxi driver when Carrot Top falls into his cab, escape military zombies before being fired by Sirius Black. The artist never known as Prince ditches Jackie Chan and flies to space Ritz-Carlton with Bilbo Baggins for a concert from the universe's prettiest xenomorph. John McClane, Bilbo Baggins, and Detective Carter rush back to the temple, but Alice is unable to activate the weapon until Corbin reveals the true fifth element by confessing his love. I mean...
That's pretty spot on.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost exactly not like this movie. Based on those memories, those flaws, what rating did they lead you to predict for this film before you rewatched it? Classic, nostalgic, or tragic? Let's start with James again.
Oh, this one is so hard. Actually, it's the easiest one I've ever done. This is an absolute classic.
Oh, okay.
We'll
Absolute
see.
classic. Interesting. Brian, how about yourself?
Also classic.
Also classic. All right. Mike, gonna get a trifecta?
I predicted classic.
Classic. Paul, how about you?
I saw this in the theater and thought it was pretty bad and haven't seen it since. So I predicted tragic.
Tragic. Nice. And I actually, you know what? I remember seeing this before. I've seen this before, and I thought, you know what? This is one of those movies, much like The Rocketeer, sort of went up in my thinking. And when I viewed it, I thought, you know what? I think this movie has the potential for doing that as well. So I predicted classic as well. So we have
I'll see you all on the other side.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see what that other side looks like. But before we get into our final ratings, let's go through and talk about what we liked most about the fifth element. Travis?
Best bits.
And I'm going to start with Mike this time. What is one thing you liked about the fifth element?
One thing that I noticed, especially in this rewatch, is that Mila Jovovich.
Sorry, it's my fault.
I think it's just Jovovich, I thought.
Oh, Jovovich? Do you know what it is? Yeah, there it is. Like right there in writing. Yeah, Jovovich. Mila Jovovich delivers such wonderful sincerity, even when she's speaking utter gibberish. Like if you watch her eyes in any scene, you feel like she's in this reality. Like she's not just seeing the set. She is seeing the world through Lilu's eyes, and just that conviction and that delivery, that performance was really anchoring for me. So that's really high up there for me.
Mia's best features are her eyes.
Okay.
He completely sells this concept that she's an immortal being of unimaginable power, knows nothing about the world around her.
Yes, absolutely. So
you got that?
Was that one of your likes as well, James?
It was, but one of mine was just the entire cast. Not just Mila Jovovich, but we're talking Bruce Willis as Corbin Dallas, Gary Oldman as Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg, and Ian Holm as Vito Cornelius. They really did such a great job. And what was so wonderful is that they played each of these parts completely straight.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just dedicated themselves to them. And that it made this action, sci-fi, dramedy comedy just such a pleasure to watch.
I will agree. This movie would not be nearly as memorable if it weren't for the cast.
I think I'll have something to say on that later. But
I bet you will.
But I'm surprised none of you guys seemed. For me, something I liked was it could have been just nostalgia for me, but seeing all the practical alien effects in this, I thought was really refreshing. I thought they pulled them off well. As much as I feel like there wasn't a lot of thought to, okay, how would this big duck robot actually operate in the real world and actually be able to make all this technology? I don't think that was really thought through. I mean, the way they move, the little the limited articulation they could do, I feel like unless they're psychic or something, which doesn't come across at all, I don't think they're getting to the level of intergalactic space travel that they are.
Well, see, they're from a very high gravity planet, and so that's all just gravity generators inside the suit.
Then why wouldn't they be strong enough to like shoot up when they get to Earth?
I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, that's exactly because it's not thought through.
It's like the director was talking to the puppet maker or whatever. Is like, oh wow, these look really cool. Great, how do they move? And they're like, wait, what? They're supposed to move?
Wait, a person has to go in there? Well, I think that's
we need 20 Belgian bodybuilders to get inside of this thing because that's the strength it takes to be able to do this.
Right.
Just waddle back and forth.
So cool. I thought the designs were cool. Again, not super like thought, okay, well, how would this actually function if it was real? But overall, cool designs, cool to look at, and love that they were like there in the world. So
you had to call the Monachiwan duckhead aliens, though.
They
now,
are.
Every time I've never made that connection, and now I can't unthink it. And that is all I'm going to think of when I look at them from now on.
And when you do look at them and laugh like the dog in Duck Hunt.
Oh my gosh.
Though, Francisco, I think that you raise a point of something really interesting about this film. Like, if you think about it, it makes no sense. I mean, I think most of this film, if you stop and think about it for too long,
bingo,
it doesn't make any sense.
No,
but
it falls
the
apart.
fact that it just keeps going and it just keeps the pace keeps you from stopping to ask those questions. And
does it though?
What?
You're right. This film was slow and boring. No,
we'll get there.
Oh, we lost you again, Francisco.
Time out. We can't hear you.
Edna mode.
Plug in, plug out. Don't worry, Mike. We didn't see anything.
Plug it in, plug it in.
All right, coffee break.
Coffee at 10 p.m. I admire your stamina.
I don't drink coffee.
Yeah, well.
And it's only 7.
Yeah. Hey, Magenta
Way
Man.
over here.
Can we hear you? No, not yet. Try again. What are the strongest days of the week? Saturday and Sunday, because the rest are weekdays, because they're weak. Come on, Francisco. This is as entertaining as it gets. We need your help.
If you ever wondered what the podcast would be like without you, this is it.
Hey, this is the season. Why does Humpty Dumpty love autumn?
Because it's fall. No, because he had a great fall.
He had a great fall.
Yeah, he always has a great fall. What's the best day to go to the beach?
Sunday?
Yes. All right.
All of these dad jokes remind me of a line from the movie Airplane. I picked a heck of a day to quit drinking.
Yeah. I picked the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
Like, I didn't feel the need to rewatch that movie. I was just so good listening to the episode here.
That's great. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Gopher.
Go for who?
Go for help. I'm stuck in your door. That doesn't make sense. Why would I be stuck in your door?
I mean, there was that episode of Winnie the Pooh where he was...
Oh,
anyway,
yeah. Knock, knock. Oh, sorry. Go for it. It's better than my knock, knock joke.
Well, that awaits to be seen.
Okay.
This is one I remember hearing on the podcast. Welcome to Night Vale.
Hello.
Oh, there you go.
There he is. All right.
Oh, I'm back.
You're
Yeah.
back.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You have to say hello, hello like 30 times and then it'll kick in.
Hello, 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 hello.
What were you saying, James?
What has 2 legs in the morning, 3 legs in the afternoon, and 4 legs in the evening?
Life.
I don't know either, but I have it trapped in the bathroom. Please send help.
Ew.
Okay, now that I've brought our momentum to a screeching halt, let's continue on.
Where were we?
Yeah, I think. Okay, so
Heart.
Let me
It was
do-
released in 2006.
Let me
Little
do a
Indian
recap
kid with a monkey sidekick.
here. So James has done your like. Mike, you've done your like. I've done my like. Brian, I don't think you did your like yet, did you?
Not yet.
Okay, and Paul, you haven't either as well, right?
No, I don't like this at all.
Oh my
sorry.
gosh. Wow. But we were talking about Mike. I think you were saying something about how I hit something on the head with the. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Oh yeah, that's right. And then I was going to say something about Luc Besson. Okay, so let me.
You have
pick it up
lupus?
back. Luc Besson, the director.
The director. Okay.
Okay. End of Edna Mode, Francisco of the Future. So one thing I have to say about this, you're saying, Mike, how it doesn't make a lot of sense, but keeps going. Apparently, Luc Besson, I was reading in the trivia that he had started the story. Yes, the director had started this story back in like high school. He'd been writing it, so it seems very much like something a high schooler would.
It's a
write.
very much a high schooler script. Yes.
Yes, exactly.
That would very much explain all of the outfits that he puts Mila Jovovich in.
Yes, absolutely, yes. But I am curious, what really outfitted this movie really well for you, Brian?
I'm going to go off the beaten path a little. For me, it's the color.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
it's sort of bright and
day and
do you mean
age
something
where
else?
everything is kind of monochromatic.
Yeah.
Everything is blue or everything is yellow. This movie has colors everywhere. They're bright, they're vibrant, but they're not overdriven.
Yeah.
Which, because they're shooting on film, that doesn't happen. It does these days with the digital cameras.
Yeah.
But
interesting.
Just
do you mean like when the whites are like too blown out? Is that what overdriven is, or is that?
Yeah, when you get
or the
clipping and the color
saturation.
channels, the saturation is too much.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you.
The color correction is just way overboard.
Yeah. But this movie has so many different colors, variety of colors, and even though they're bright and they're jarring, there's a harmony in the colors. No, I said it right. A harmony.
Yes.
Harmony of colors.
Yes.
Harmony Granger. Yeah, got it.
I always listen to Harmony while Wow, that's much better than the one I was going to make about macaroni. Continue, Brian.
Do I have to?
No, you don't. That's fine.
No, that's not all I had to
Paul,
say.
was there? I know you certainly come from art background in school. Did the colors or the effects or something like that make your like list, or was it something else?
No, but I will add to that. There were a lot of, to agree with Brian, there were a lot of variety of colors, but it was not distracting from the film, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely, yes.
So yeah, we agree on that. Going back to what Francisco, what you were kind of saying with the characters. There not many, but there were a few special effects that I was surprised held up really well for like some of the alien mouth movements they did. It still holds up to today's standards. Some of them, not all of them, but there were some that I was like, wow, this is really good. So
that opera singer, it's amazing. They articulated her lips so well. I don't know how they did that.
Well, not her, but but sure.
Okay, nice. Okay, that's awesome, Paul. Well, let's get into what's the most awesome about The Fifth Element for each of us. Paul, I'm just going to go right back to you. What did you love most?
All right. The best thing about this film, The Fifth Element, is that it does a better job at having a Star Wars character sing opera than Star Wars ever did.
Wait,
reference to episode 3 and such.
Episode 3.
Like, did I miss a Wookiee opera or something?
No. When the Emperor's trying to tempt Anakin, they're watching some bubble show.
Squid
or
Lake,
something. Yeah. Okay.
You know, if it had been a Wookiee opera, episode 3 would have been much better.
Yes, probably.
Tearing off limbs and such. Yeah.
My mind went to Jabba's like palace.
That's
singing
that's
there,
not
but-
opera.
Well, okay, fine.
That's the Max Rebo band.
That's right.
I watched that in preparation for this episode for reasons I don't understand. Now I know.
All has become clear.
Okay. Anyway, so you really liked Wait, what did you say, Paul? You like the...
Here we go again. The best thing about this movie is that it does a better job of having a Star Wars character sing opera than Star Wars ever did.
Okay, apparently I need to open my ears and listen and talk less with my mouth. So I'm going to kick it now to James. What's your favorite part?
So when this movie came out in 97, there were other science fiction movies that just were dark and were depressing. I mean, that was when we saw Gattaca, Event Horizon, another Aliens movie. And then Luc Besson comes out with this. And it is such a colorful, beautiful, vibrant world that is alive. His vision of the future of I think it's like 2063 or something like that. And it's constantly moving. Something's always happening. You have feel like the city is actually alive. Yeah. And it's a touch.
Yeah, it's got to go.
It's a touch dystopic, but with like the lowered ocean levels and the trash everywhere and the mega cityscape.
Is that why the Statue of Liberty is so high up? It's because the ocean went down?
Yes,
correct. I thought they retrofit a big base under it. Okay, I didn't think I knew that.
And I did read that the reason that the airport was covered in trash wasn't because like there's just trash everywhere. It's apparently there was a deleted scene where there were these aliens that they had made, which were like the garbage men union, but they were on strike.
Oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense.
But it was such a beautiful movie to look at. I mean, the futuristic skylines, the vehicles, everything had character and flair to it. And
Ric Flair was in it?
It was just in the background going,
woo!
Yeah.
He's the one.
He may have been. You'd have never known.
With Ruby Rod, who would even have noticed Flair?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
But just all of this together, this great vision that Luc Besson had. I mean, he had hired a couple of artists. I can't find their names right now, but just to make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
And it shows. I mean, he even like hired a incredible fashion designer to make all of the clothes look great. And apparently, this fashion designer like visually inspected himself like 200 to 300 of the costumes of just the extras. Wow. Just to make sure they were just right. So that attention to detail to every small bit of the movie just made it so visually stunning and appealing.
For
Very
this
cool.
movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's where the 90 million went. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Brian, what had the most flair? What was the most stunning and appealing for you about the Fifth Element?
The one-liners. There's
Does anyone else want to negotiate?
3 movies that are
where
so
did he
cool.
learn to negotiate?
Which one? Princess Bride and Ghostbusters.
Oh, wow.
Oh, really? Wow. That's high praise right there.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's quite the company it keeps.
Do you have a favorite line, like one you tend to quote a lot?
I only speak 2 languages, English and bad English.
Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
I will find myself saying, my favorite.
Anytime my wife and I are cooking, depending on what the dish is,
Multitask.
usually at some point one of us will go, chicken good.
Oh my!
If I'm going to cons and I'm showing my badge, like so many people are going multi-pass.
Yep.
The movies, the dialogue has worked its way into our regular vernacular.
Okay, that's fun. Not so much for me, but that's totally fair. Let's see. Let's go with Mike next. What's your classic maker?
My classic maker was just the snappy rhythm and pace of some of the dialogue, and I think it is most exemplary in just the impeccable timing of the hallway scene with Ruby Rod. Like this was,
I was about to say it's all due to Ruby Rod.
That is, well, the thing is, they did this scene in sound production first, and then filmed to match it.
Oh,
and I
really?
think it
Wow.
really shows because it sounds so good.
Yeah.
And and just the pacing and the dialogue and just keeping it pop, keeping it snapping. It is just so incredible.
Making it pop, pop, pop.
Unbelievable!
That scene was super green.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, that leaves me. What was most green about this movie for me was actually something you guys touched on before, and it's just I thought all the actors did such a good job of like feeling lived in this world, that they really brought a lot to this, a lot of groundedness to it. Mila Jovovich, with like you were saying, I think James, with how she played her eyes so well. I actually was drawn most to Gary Oldman as Zorg. I thought he was a great villain. The only part and I was looking for it this time, I still don't understand is why does blood drip down from the middle of his forehead? Why?
Yeah.
When he's talking to evil
oil.
planet. Why? What? I missed it.
I think it's motor oil.
I was about to say I don't know if it is blood, but and where does it come from? I think the studio PA got lost or something, tripped over, and
I thought it was like a weird gravy, like Bovril or something, because it had like this brown look to it.
Okay, well, whatever it was, why was it there?
It's the gravy of evil, Francisco.
Yeah.
It's his desk. I mean, if tuxedo shirts are flying out of it, an alien from a pocket, and CDs. Why do they still have CDs in the future? Then obviously there's a button to make gravy fall from the ceiling.
Okay. Yeah, you got me. You got me.
Because nothing scares Gary Oldman like gravy from a ceiling.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. You know what? There was plenty to like. Unfortunately, we didn't have as much time to get through all the likes. But I'm going to take captain's privilege because there is one more thing I forgot that I liked, guys. So sorry.
Oh,
I
so
know
you get one.
I get one. It's true. And that would be Junkyard Juggernauts. A warlord has taken the king and queen prisoner, and their only hope is you and the junkyard. Junkyard Juggernauts is a pixel art infused tabletop card game for 1 to 4 players designed by Francisco Ruiz. Hey, that's me. You will play as a Mageneer, drafting cards to build the arms and legs of a magic-fueled mech, aka a Juggernaut, before taking on the Warlord. With an expected Kickstarter in 2024, there is still plenty of work to be done on Junkyard Juggernauts, and you can stay in the know by signing up to their newsletter at junkyardjuggernauts.com.
That's great, Francisco.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like that.
What does that have to do with the Fifth Element?
Actually, quite a bit, Paul, because in my game, I'm using the elements of fire, wind, earth, and water. To each of them, you have pieces of your...
Sounds like you're missing the fifth element.
Is going off and on. Yes.
No, we can still hear you. Sounds like you're missing the fifth element, though.
For each of the parts that you can use for legs and arms, they are all attached to an element. So it's like this Junkyard Juggernauts is a precursor to the fifth element.
One question, Francisco, though. Did a lot of love go into this game? Because there you have your fifth element right there.
Can you hear us?
Can you not hear me?
No, we can hear you. You can't hear us. We can hear you.
I guess I can't hear you guys all of a sudden.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. But thumbs up if you can hear me. All right, well, that's good. I'm glad you can hear me. Why can't I hear you guys? I'm at 100%.
This would be an awesome prank if we coordinated this.
Everyone give thumbs up again in 3, 2, 1.
Let's see.
No,
I didn't plug in any device.
All right.
He's too busy.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes.
I can hear you.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So sorry, guys.
So when you combine all of the different elements, the earth, fire, water, and air, does that mean that the mech is, when combined, becomes an avatar for the player?
Or Captain Planet. I'm confused.
In a way, yes, exactly. That's what happens, except not so much. But
you put it together with love?
Yeah.
All right, Paul, I get it. You want to talk about Captain Planet and the movie Heart. All right.
Yeah, the Planeteers. Here we go.
Well,
we're the Planeteers.
I don't have any trivia about that. So how about I give you some trivia about the fifth element, Paul?
Ah, much better. Yes.
Okay.
Let's get back to the movie we're reviewing.
Yes. Did you all realize that the animatronic mechanisms used for the Mangalore masks, those were like the ogre-looking bad guys, were later recycled for the Nemodians in Star Wars Episode 1, the Trade Federation guys?
Yep.
So with that in mind, so my question for you all is, Do you have a favorite animatronic effect you would like to see in more movies? Let's start with Paul.
No, because the best thing about effects is when you don't know that they are effects.
Sure.
So for example, like Smallville episode 1, it flies over corn and the corn is all CGI, but it looks real. You don't know it's fake unless you hear the commentary. Those are the kind of effects.
Animatronic?
No, but is the Mangalore masks animatronic?
Yes, apparently they are.
Well, that's why it looked good when talking, because the other parts when they were talking didn't with the CG. Again, not good effects that I don't want to see.
All right, how about you, Brian?
I don't know if I would want to see it in more movies, but I do have a favorite animatronic effect, and that was the Ghost of Christmas Present from Muppet Christmas Carol.
That was excellent. Yes, I agree. I don't know if I want to see that, but it does. It's well done. Yeah,
that's the big guy, right?
Yeah, and not only well done, but it's two performers having to work in perfect sync.
Oh wow!
And the guy operating the face is like off screen and also doing the voice.
Oh wow!
So
okay,
he's doing a character, a stylized voicing character, while operating this incredibly complex controller device. And being in sync with the guy actually in the suit.
Wow.
So
I just wish that was in a better movie, but okay.
Sounds like who was it? Bluto? That's not his name, but
from Labyrinth.
Yeah,
but I think that was just one well, I don't know if it's
I don't know, but it was I like those big Muppet people.
Mike, how about you?
Yeah, actually, something similar to the Mangalore animatronics. I really do love that marrying of animatronics and creature suit acting. I thought it was most splendidly done in what I thought was otherwise a dumpster fire of a film, Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh yes,
oh yes, okay.
We reviewed that on episode.
I fill in the blank here and go search for it, folks.
Up while you talk about it.
Yeah, just the fact that you had such an incredible creature suit performance, as well as just the team, because there were 30 people working on the facial structures, all working in tandem, and it just created such a beautiful dance of a performance that makes a human-like face. I thought the Mangalores came pretty close to that. Not quite to that degree, but I thought that the animatronics and creature suit acting was just fantastic.
Awesome. And if you want to hear Mike talk more about Harry and the Hendersons, along with me, Paul, and also Kevin Joshua Burnham, check out retrorewindpodcast.com/248. And that leaves James. What's your favorite animatronic you'd like to see in more movies, or just your favorite one in general?
I'm going to kind of mirror what my co-hosts have said. I love the practical effect of either someone in a suit, but then also somebody manipulating the alien or extra parts off on the side. When you take a look at the creatures that are present in, say, a movie like Return of the Jedi versus the Phantom Menace, and when you have the practical effect of some of the aliens that are on Jabba's sail barge or in his or in Jabba's palace, and versus others like Jar Jar Binks or the Gungans, and one looks real. It's something that is physically there, and that you see the other actors actually interacting with, and has a presence to it, a realness to it. Whereas the other one is just, you think, Uncanny Valley, and just takes you out of the film completely. So I have no idea what the budget is like for either one of those. Brian would be more the one to tell you, at least on the digital side. But
they're surprisingly close together, actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
Then I would say, for the money, let's put some of those out of work motion control actors back in place, and those artists like the robot makers, the costume makers, the makeup artists who put it all together. The creature shop.
trouble with a creature shop and with animatronics and puppets is that whatever you've got on set that day is what you've got. Whereas with CGI,
fix it in post.
They'll continue noting it until the VFX company has run out of money and has gone bankrupt.
We're not going to see the CGI go away. We're just not. We're too embedded into it. But I would like to see more use of the live in creatures. And with maybe just, instead of the CGI becoming the norm, I'd like to see it become an accent to where it's there.
Exactly.
Like the orcs in Lord of the Rings.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
But see, everyone agrees with me. You don't want to see the effects because it takes you out of the movie. But great trivia, Francisco.
Wow, and you do a great job, Brian.
Yes, you do.
Well, the idea is that you don't want to see the effects. They should be invisible.
Exactly.
Oh, my goodness. Paul, I neglected to put the memory.
For instance,
everyone's
right now,
memories
I'm completely CG.
My gosh. So I'm just going to go, if you want to just pull up the Facebook, and we'll just read back and forth off the Facebook.
All right, hold on.
If you don't mind doing that. Yes, Edna mode, by the way, yes. All the problems tonight, but none of you guys are. It's all like me.
It's going well. We didn't forget to hit record, right?
That's true. No, it's recording. We're live. We're good that way. Yes.
Yeah.
And we're all having a great time. So that's
right.
That's also true. Also true. Probably the most important. If everything was working right, but we are hating it here, then that would be worse. Okay.
All right.
Are you ready, Paul?
Hold on. I have to make sure that it's in the right.
And then
I have to view all comments.
You guys are awesome. Jeez. So yeah, I have to. Is there a way to? I guess we have to go to the individual, where you guys all shared it to see everyone else's comments, huh?
What?
So here, Paul. Here's what you're gonna do. You're going to read Retro Rewind. I'm gonna pull up the comments on Mike's post, on Brian's post, and Geek at Arms post. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'll read those, and then we can go back and forth through those. Make sense? Okay.
Sure.
I bring these up in new windows. Give me 1 second.
When you open those up in Windows, don't agree to the Windows update.
Okay, I'll do that. And then this one in new window. All right. I think I am ready when you are ready, Paul.
All right.
Okay.
Who talks first? Should I go first or you go first?
Let's see.
You
have to say great trivia, Francisco.
Great trivia, Francisco.
Thank you, Paul.
And now that we've all had some trivial fun, let's find out what memories you, our awesome rewinders, had about the fifth element.
Indeed. So Sheila A. Hendrickson Fraley says, love it.
Steve Hamilton says, the cigarettes.
Okay. Oh, that he has those 4 cigarettes, I guess, that he can use. Nathan Bantz says, one of my top 5 of all time. Fantastic pacing, world building, and developing likable characters. The fact the villain never meets the hero is awesome too. The only role Chris Tucker ever felt like he nailed. To this day, I listen to the soundtrack. Fantastic film.
Eric Trinidad says, multipass.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Indeed. Joy Felix says, if you don't rate it classic, we are going to have words, but no pressure.
Eric Purcell says, big bada boom.
Oh my goodness. Jolie, I think, Heilman says, if you don't rate it as classic, then you and I can't be friends anymore. Just saying. And I'm reading from the comments on Mike's posts or repost of this. So I think we don't. Me and Paul don't have to worry. It's just if Mike doesn't rate this classic.
We'll see.
We'll see. Yes.
Mikkel Withers says the music mostly.
Michael Withers.
Michael, Mikel, whatever, how you pronounce
Michael.
it, Mr. Withers.
Oh my gosh.
He says the music he remembers mostly. Had the soundtrack for years and played it a lot. Zorg was great. Ruby Rod. Sorry, man. Sorry. The visuals, terrific movie.
Awesome. Hold on. Now I have to go back because I ran out of comments from the other guys.
That's fine.
So let's see.
I thought I was getting too close to the mic.
No, you're fine.
All right.
Are you sure? Did you read the ones from where you? Oh, that's from tonight. I guess I could read the ones from tonight on your post about us streaming.
Sure.
So okay, I'll do that.
Because I still have several.
Okay. David Mattingly says, and if there's one thing I do not like, it's to be disappointed. Fortunately, this film does not disappoint.
Right. Nathan James Norman says, surprising and awkward nudity while we're sitting next to my parents in the theater.
Drew Dodgen put a gif of Lilu saying multipass.
Yep. Josh Appel also did when he wrote, the whole movie is brilliant and timeless. Multipass.
Kristen Rich Victor says, is that the movie where every restaurant is Taco Bell? Is McDonald's, I think.
Yeah, there's a surprising amount of Taco Bell in here, but that
Man, wasn't it?
Demolition Man, yeah.
Yes, that's what it was, yeah.
Who Will Save Generation X podcast says, Chris Tucker took me right out of this movie. I feel like it had so much potential, but it's just silly and not in a good way.
Dun dun dun. Dave Mattingly says, again, this and Big Trouble in Little China are my most watched movies.
John Harju says, being incredibly disappointed by it.
Wow. I think that's all I have. Did you
right.
have any more?
I have one more.
Okay. Go for it.
And David Bob Geese finishes it off with, no trace of boron anywhere. Why promote the Fifth Element if you're not going to feature it in the film? Actually, I never saw it. I wonder what you guys wish you hadn't seen in this movie.
You know what? Good point, Baba. And let's talk about the things we wish weren't in this movie, the things we disliked. Travis, bring up our dislike section.
Worst whoops.
And I'm going to start us out, guys, because I have it's a couplet. They go together. First
Unlike
off,
some things in this film.
Oh my gosh. First off, why? Sorry, hold on. What am I writing here? Okay, no, I'm gonna end with that. That's gonna be my trash maker. Okay, let me start again. Okay, guys, I'm gonna kick off our dislike section. I knew it. I knew as soon as I said kick, I knew it was coming. I didn't care for the editing style where they would go between 2 to 3 different scenes carrying on the conversation. Sometimes when I see, I like it in some movies when it makes sense that, you would be talking about the same thing here, but it doesn't make sense that they all would be talking about the exact same thing in sync enough to have the conversation carry over between 3 or 4 different scenes. It just took me out of the movie.
They used to not make it slow and boring.
It bothered me. It was too unbelievable that would be happening for me.
Unbelievable!
Exactly.
I will grant you that is not a plausible scenario.
There we go. Yes,
and I support you in having your own subjective interaction with the film, despite the fact that I loved it.
I mean,
you know what, Francisco? Yes. I also agree with you.
Oh, really? Except you loved it too, Paul. Is that what?
No, I think it did take me out of the movie, but I thought it was a nice break from the norm.
Okay,
so it kept the movie going.
All right, totally.
But yeah, it does. It's yet another thing that I think Mike said earlier, that there's a lot in this that just doesn't make sense. In fact, that would be my tragic maker. So this film is so full of dislikes for me that I'm just going to save my other 2 for other things.
So wait, that I just said is your tragic maker?
No, there's a lot in here in this movie that doesn't make sense. That is just number 84 in a long list of things that don't make sense.
Oh my gosh. Okay. All right,
Mike,
fair.
I just want to point out what you said a minute ago. That was the nicest way of telling someone you're wrong and stupid, but I still like you.
He's right on his own grounds. That was his interaction with the film. He hated it. I loved it. And then we shake hands and then our podcast never talk about each other again.
Geek at Arms used to name drop Retro Rewind all the time. I wonder what happened. Wow.
It all goes back to Geek at Arms episode 50 when they reviewed The Fifth Element.
Exactly. If you're like at the end of all this, you're like, I want more Fifth Element talk from those three guys. They were awesome because they are awesome. Go check out episode 50 of Geek at Arms, like James just said. And speaking of James, what's something you didn't like about The Fifth Element?
Remember what Mike was talking a bit ago about making sense?
Aha!
So I couldn't help but think, what exactly is Zorg's reason for helping the Death Moon?
Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Mr. Shadow, whatever you want to call him.
Yeah.
I mean, what does he get out of this? I mean, at some point he alludes to that, it wasn't, getting the stones wasn't easy. My costs have tripled. No money ever talked about. Great. Okay, you're going to have, instead of $1 billion, you're going to have $3 billion. But you're
how
going to
can
be
he spend
king
it
of
if
the
he
ashes?
when everything's destroyed anyway?
Maybe he doesn't realize that he's going to destroy everything.
I guess. I mean,
I don't buy it.
Some things kind of go over his head. And here's the other thing: is that this is like going to be the most important thing he probably has ever done. I mean, nothing else impresses him, and yet he's scared to death. He has to get this done. He has to get the stones, and he keps outsourcing it to the most inept beings and employees that he has.
Good point. Yes.
And he even says at the end, if you want something done, do it yourself. And he messes it up.
Yeah.
And he doesn't even look in the case when he's right there in the room.
Right?
Yeah, that dawns on him as he's laughing and crying, they're not here.
Yeah. Which I laughed at. I mean,
yes, that was a fun thing.
Yeah.
That was a fun gotcha. Yeah, for sure. But that's a good point, James.
That's an excellent point. All pointing to my tragic maker.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're not there yet. Brian, what's something you didn't like? And
David.
How does it point to Paul's tragic maker?
That's right.
Well, it remains to be seen how much David points at Paul's tragic maker.
David? Who is David?
Exactly. David was the acolyte, Cornelius's assistant. He contributes
Luke
nothing.
Perry, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that whole
not
intro.
Luke Perry. Oh wait, was it? Was he?
No.
I thought you were talking about the
different
other
actor.
acolyte.
The Aziz
guy
who's
with
pointing the light.
No,
David.
David guy. See, he doesn't remember who David is either because he
on
does
a-
not matter.
On a side note, considering how big Perry was in the 90s, I thought he was going to play a much bigger part in this movie when I originally saw it.
That whole Brian, that whole intro when they're in the past doesn't matter. They could easily cut that out.
He's not in. I'm talking about the acolyte of Cornelius, the guy with the stupid hat on.
So Luke Perry plays Billy.
Yes.
Charlie Creed Miles plays David, who is helping Bilbo Baggins. Exactly.
Yes.
So utterly forgettable that it's taken us this long to establish.
Was he the one with the gun or the hat? We don't know.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was something you didn't like.
So was an
just
extra
him being-
character that you didn't like? You like priests who can do it on their own and not have assistants?
No, I
Careful,
just
you're
thought
talking to an associate minister
this is
here.
somebody that they paid to be in the movie, and he shouldn't have been there.
Well, the 90 million has to go somewhere. They had leftovers from the designer. So.
Wow.
Well, when we get to my tragic maker, we can hear where I thought that money should have gone.
Okay.
All right. That's fair. Mike, where do you think they should have spent a little bit more money? What's something you didn't like?
Is something similar to Zorg's. Do you know what? No, actually, you've already hit that. I'm going to move on to something entirely different.
There we go.
I think that the fight scene with Lilu and the Mangalores did not age well. I thought that it was wonderful in at the time and the moment, but post Matrix, like these things that looked so crisp in practice then, A, don't look all that crisp or practiced, and B, there's a lot of Mangalores hanging around in the background just waiting to get hit.
Like a Ninja Turtle movie.
You have a gun pointed at somebody, for crying out loud.
Yeah. Yep.
So it was a bit Looney Toony.
I like how you're supporting my tragic maker. I mean, the aliens shoot everybody but Lilo. And then Lilo attacks the aliens.
Well,
but as soon as Gary Oldman comes in with the same gun as those guns have, I know they're not guns, but then she runs away. None of it makes sense.
Well, Lilo had Stitch to help her.
Yes,
yeah, that too.
I was about to comment on his pronunciation. Beat me to it, James. Mike, I will just add on to that. The whole, the fight, it could have been crisper. It really just like was, I don't know if jarring is the right word, but just nonsensical. That at the end, we're trying to do some movement punctuations to the music, and Lulu goes like this with her arms. She like goes like does a bow with her arms out to match what the opera performer is doing. I get why the opera performer was doing it. And if, let's say, Lilu, was a general who became a slave, who became a gladiator, who defied Zorg, then I could see she would have like repeated that sort of motion because she would have been doing that in her gladiator days. But no. There's no seeding of why she would move like that to begin with. So why are you doing some sort of performative thing at the end when all the Mangalores that you killed, that you beat up, are gone, are dead, or passed out?
Because if she had half the chance,
I don't know what's going on
Mangalores to dance, and she'd be dancing with herself.
Does that make sense?
It's because she learned all of her martial arts moves from martial arts movies.
Yes, but you can't hear us.
I can't hear you, though. Hold on.
I wonder if it's not recording us on that end when that happens. Now we can't hear you at all.
Hear you.
Hey, Francisco, check your battery.
I think this just became another lost episode.
I hope. You know what? What is it on? Hey, is anybody watching the stream? Can you hear us?
Streamers.
I think if it had gotten that bad, we would have seen comments by now.
I would think.
Okay, yeah, they can hear us.
To thank for picking you guys.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
And I can hear you guys. Okay, let's continue on. Thank you, so much, Gods Gamers, for the raid. Thank you, Aristotle, for bringing them over here. Really appreciate you guys. I'm been having mic issues all night, so we're trying to figure that out.
Don't worry, Aristotle. I spaced too. We all did.
I wonder if I just need a new cable, because I've had this one for a while, and it may just be that.
Yeah.
What kind of cable is it?
It's a 3.5 male to male.
Ew. That's like old school analog.
It is old school analog, Paul.
Ew.
To 3.5 milliliter.
Now, does it have two bands or 3
milliliters?
They're.
You got to pour more Wi-Fi into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. More Wi-Fi.
Who am I supposed to be hearing? All of us now, Aristotle, if you can.
Okay. As long as they have good ratings. Okay. Yes, you should be able to hear them all. Hear all of us. All right. So Mike, did that make sense? My little tirade there, or?
Yeah, I think that your tirade made perfect sense. I mean, but I think the answer to that is she learned all of her moves from martial arts movies, and that's why she does theatrical. No, that makes no sense.
Actually, that did make sense as you said that, because I forgot she had that moment where she was looking at the computer with all the stuff. So
I thought she was so perfect. She had ESP and she was connected.
She had to discharge her chi.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
All right, fair, whatever, but it still it bothered me in the moment.
Yeah, I support it.
Good. And you know what? I'm going to save Paul's Tragic Maker for the
We're not even to Tragic Makers yet.
Who still has a little dislike?
Me!
I thought you did yours.
No! I haven't gotten my dislike yet. What was it? Tell me.
It was...
Everything.
Everything after the credit.
I said that was my Tragic Maker, so I have two. I'll use my 2 on other things.
Okay.
Man, am I that
I misunderstood
slow and boring?
Oh,
man, no one's not paying attention. All right.
Said how much you disliked how it began with white text on black background.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you what, I disliked how lack of music it began with, but that's not my dislike. That's just one. That's number 47 on my dislike.
Hey, Gentlemen. Let's okay. Paul, why don't you give us one more dislike or your dislike before we get to Tragic Makers?
All right, the whole thing of this film is that spoiler, it all accumulates, if that's the right word, leads up to they need the 4 elements, and then the 5th element needs to be activated by love. And they're supposed to be like this great. There's no chemistry between Bruce Willis and Mia. I'm sorry, Mia, whatever your name is.
Mia Jovovich.
Sure, that's that too. But there is no chemistry between these two that make me feel like, oh, they were in love and they just need to get together. I mean, I think the scientist that helped created the perfect element, the girl, was in love with her more than Bruce Willis was.
Let me ask you this, Paul. Can you think of any?
The Princess Bride.
No. Can you think of any movie where Bruce Willis has felt like he's had good chemistry with the love interest?
That's not his role. He does a great, like him shooting along the balcony and jumping in. That is the quintessential. That's why you have Bruce Willis in this movie for those 5 or 10 seconds. That was amazing.
When he and Hans Gruber look into each other's eyes on top of the Nakatomi Tower. There's just that spark there for a moment.
I thought it had great chemistry with that little fat kid from The Kid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've never seen The Kid.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. Jeez.
So it all leads up to this great supposedly romance that just is not there, and it would have been better if there was a great romance there.
Okay.
I will have to go with Paul on this a little bit. My thinking was, okay, so the 5th element has been used to defeat evil before, because this happens as the professor says at the beginning, 3,000 years.
Yeah.
So, okay, what was the person's name that she fell in love with the first time that this happened, or the last time? And is she just breaking hearts throughout the centuries as she falls in love, gets fired off, saves the universe, and then goes back into the sarcophagus?
Yep. Sounds about right. Don't worry, we're still being recorded, so hopefully you got all that.
That being said, I'm sure her and Bruce Willis or Corbin Dallas will live a long, wonderful, happy life together.
Yeah. How long does it take Francisco to realize that?
Oh, Mike, can you hear us?
I can hear. I was telling Francisco I cannot hear you, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
That's right. You better not.
While we're waiting for Francisco to reconnect, Aristotle Online says, honestly, I thought The Fifth Element was an overhyped B movie with a AAA budget, and on paper,
it looks like.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Yes.
Actually, a lot of Luc Besson's work could be described like that.
Yeah.
If you look at Valeria and the
let's not look at that.
Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
My apologies.
You know, it makes sense that he made that. I didn't know he made that film. I liked it, but
I liked the first 10 minutes.
I think I was the only one.
The artist I mentioned earlier that he hired to do a lot of the artwork for this was a French cartoonist named Jean-Claude Mézières. Anyway, Luc Besson paid him to do visuals, and he was a cartoonist, and he had a long-running sci-fi comic, which essentially would become was basically Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I kind of like, I liked Valerian in the City of a Thousand Worlds, but I thought it was way overhyped. I thought it was an enjoyable sit down 2 hours. Don't want to plug it in again.
I was so happy I did not pay money to see it in theater.
Okay, yeah, fair.
But sitting at home and like renting it on Amazon, I was perfectly fine with.
Oh no, I thought the visuals were great on the big screen, but that's me.
I thought the visuals were great. I mean,
visually, it was fantastic. No complaints about the effects or the cinematography. It's fantastic.
It's all that other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like how Francisco had said during the Rocketeer. You know, I thought this was charming. I absolutely loved it. It's too bad he can't hear me. It's like I hope it's not too lecherous to say that. I'm like, I think that it's not lecherous to say that the two leads on the Rocketeer were really, really attractive. It's called having eyes, and I think that was I think that's what they were worried about for Valerian and 1,000 Planets. Like, look at these attractive people in their 20s.
I don't think that the guy is attractive, but maybe that's okay because I'm a guy.
Yeah, I mean,
he looks like a punk kid.
He looks the prettiest when he puts the helmet on.
When he covers himself.
Yes.
I see.
That Art Deco flight helmet.
That's what's going to be, that's called growing up. Like,
that ridiculous teenager looks ridiculous. Why'd they make a movie about him? They could make a movie about a strapping man like me.
Yes, I hear that.
Honestly, I mean, the fact that he was standing next to Jennifer Connelly, I sometimes forget that there was a guy in the movie. So
yeah.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah,
Yes.
you're little
overmodulated, a little loud.
Okay.
Yeah, little.
There we go. There we go. Yeah, you're back just in time. Brian was just about to give his perfect recitation of Lilu's
full name,
divine full name, just like he did in Geek at Arms episode 50.
Except that it was Mike that did that.
Yeah, and it took me no, that was me, and it took us like 6 tries, and you edited most of them out.
Lilu Dallas Multipass.
Francisco, can you hear us? No, he can't.
He cannot.
Oh, I feel so bad for this guy.
But as we've said, I mean, we've been there.
Yeah.
Several times in recording, especially our earlier podcasts. And just last week.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully it won't happen again with you guys or us. All right, should I break out the joke book again?
I'm going to step away for 2 quick seconds.
Oh, yeah. Now's the time.
I'm going to sit here and read Aristotle Online's comments. The costumes were hilarious. Yeah. I can, hilarious is one word to describe it. I will never, ever be motivated to wear a thong and a plexiglass skirt. Yeah, so, yeah.
Well, there we go. Francisco, can you hear us? No, I heard some crackling. Sorry. Go ahead. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
A broken pencil.
A broken pencil who?
Oh, never mind. It's pointless.
This one broke me. Okay.
No?
Aristotle Online says, nice. That's our Bobo says, Francisco fell out of his chair laughing.
No, I'm laughing at that's our Bobo. We call it Bobo, but that's our Bobo. But Bobo works.
From henceforth, you will be Bobo.
Sorry, Bobo.
Bobo.
I did not mean to make you sound like a dancing bear. I'm very much apologize.
Hey, that's our Bobo.
Pronouncing things, when I saw that, I thought it was, that sour Bobo.
That sour Bobo.
Yeah.
Sour Bobo.
So that's
sour Bobo.
That's what Francisco and I first thought of it as. That sour Bobo or Bobo.
I've got your back. That's our Bobo. Leave their poor listeners alone. Go tease your own listeners.
Boo boo, Bobo. Bobo. What? How do you pronounce that first one? Bobo. Bob. You are an enigma. But those are the best kind. What kind of dog always runs a fever?
Rents a fever?
Runs a fever.
Okay.
Let's see. I'm looking for a hot, high temp pun. Hot dog.
There you go.
That
Good job.
No,
hot dog.
Credit goes to Ferric Mercy.
Ferric Mercy. Good job. Yes, audio, Francisco.
Oh.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you guys.
All right.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Let's.
It's a long, hard ride, but we love you, and we're going to get there.
appreciate you guys like having so much grace with me. Everyone watching having so much grace with me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. This has just been bad. CT, thank you for the raid. Welcome to the audio issues cast. But we're gonna, I think, continue on with Fifth Element. Let's see. Who was doing their Tragic Maker just now? Had anyone started theirs?
I don't think we started ours.
Paul had just finished up his.
That's what I thought.
His dislike, and we're about to head to Tragic Makers.
And James was on a big spiel about proving my Tragic Maker. I don't remember.
Okay. I am gonna hit OK to this one more time. Hopefully it doesn't.
What do you mean OK to this? Don't stop
because
recording.
when I left it, no, this is the line in. Like, what device did you just plug in?
Oh,
so hit it. Hopefully it doesn't come back.
Oh, it's working. Great. Let's hit more buttons. See?
It's.
Why?
You fooled. You doomed us all.
It was working. Just had to mess with it. All right, back to the joke book. Here we go.
Oh my goodness.
There we go. Oh my
there
goodness.
we go. Okay.
So
now don't breathe on it.
Yeah. Works great for an audio podcast. Just don't breathe.
Just hold your head to the side, lift up your arm.
Paul, that was
Not you, Mike.
Paul, yeah, I can see how that would bother you. But let's get into our Tragic Makers, and let's start with James. What did you? I know you really enjoyed this movie. At least you said you predicted classic. But was there something you really hated about it?
Actually, there is. I went on in my Classic Maker about how much I enjoyed Luc Besson's vision for this world.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going back to Luc Besson, I question some of his decision making because this movie gets a little skeezy at times.
Ooh.
Hey,
they turned their backs when she was changing.
What the camera
Which
did.
time? Because she does it multiple times.
Well, yeah.
There were 3 times that Lilu was on display, kind of.
Yeah.
And even though she was in the background and the focus wasn't on her, the fact that it happens more than once, twice, and 3 times. It's like if I had a nickel for every time it happened, I'd have 3 nickels, which isn't a lot, but still, it's it's more than one. But you add that along with like the skimpy outfits that she was constantly wearing, and I mean, it's easy to see, and it's no surprise at all that Luc Besson was kind of crushing hard on Mila Jovovich during this movie. In fact, he ended up leaving his fiance to begin to pursue a relationship with Mila while they were shooting.
Well, yeah, because she's perfect, according to this movie.
According to the script written by Luc Besson.
Yes. I also want to point out, Mila was about 19 years old when they were shooting this, and Luke was in his 30s.
Oh,
so
really?
that's a bit odd.
So,
you add that along with the whole Rudy Rod and the stewardess scene.
Oh, yeah.
When they were taking off. These were moments that I think if they had not existed at all, if they were completely gone from the movie, nothing would have been taken away from it, and the movie would have been just fine, and I would have been happier without them.
Yeah. I can totally get behind that for sure. Brian, what could have totally been removed or excised from this movie and you would have felt better about it?
Well, ironically, the thing that could have been removed was removed because I'm going to talk about the costumes.
Oh, okay. But yeah, you did there.
I don't know, the hiring a fashion designer or not. I just thought all of the costumes looked so cheap.
Oh, really?
Well, especially Mia's costume with just the duct tape bandages that magically stayed on,
and especially that alien skin where you just you put your hand in and you bring out stones. That
which was weird. It's like, how does he know like it's there? Like it could be anywhere inside her.
How did she sing with stones implanted in her body?
Easy. You start off with the marbles in your mouth and you swallow and you keep on singing.
It's just training.
Yeah.
Just really compress the diaphragm. I mean, like constantly, because it's like the size of this with those stones against it. Yeah. That's how she can hit those high notes.
There were a couple of exceptions, but most of the costumes, they didn't fit right.
Yeah, they seemed
looked like
out of place for sure. Especially like the police uniforms and stuff. They like put so much on them, and I'm like, why would you? It doesn't.
You
it
really
doesn't
need
make
like this gigantic spotlight on your chest.
Nothing says law enforcement than metallic penguin.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that says it the most, I think, except not.
Everything about this movie, that's the thing that makes me think this movie looks cheap, is the costume.
Okay, the costumes. Okay, that's totally fair. Mike, what's something that looks so cheap to you, you wanted to get out of this movie ASAP?
Yeah, one thing that I think that we could have lost is the juxtaposition of sexuality and violence. With the Ruby Rod in his engagement with the flight attendant, and Zorg killing his minion. As much as I like the snappiness of the going back and forth, answering each other, it really just rubs me the wrong way when we have the juxtaposition of Ruby Rod and his flight attendant and the explosion killing the guy. That will squick me every time.
That's fair. Yeah, it's
too many things going on at once.
Sense. It makes sense why Zorg would kill his man. I mean, he's the bad guy. He doesn't really care. But yeah, he didn't need it to punctuate the takeoff. I think that's the part you're talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Where because there's the takeoff, the explosion, and the going on at the same time.
Yes. I can totally. I think there's an element, like we said before, where this seems very much like the type of story a teenage boy would be writing, and so that I don't think it's good that it wasn't edited out in lieu of something that's a bit just more, I don't know, classy, more cinematic. Cinematic's not quite the right word, but just for better story beats or elements, I guess is how I'll put it. All right, now before we get to the creme de la creme with Paul's tragic maker of this movie, I'm gonna say I have two that I'm gonna sort of join into one here, and that's first off, I sort of spoke to it just a second ago. I didn't understand the opera singer. I thought that aria she did was very pretty.
I think it's Italian. That's why you didn't understand her.
Oh my gosh! Not what I meant.
Sorry, I don't know. I only speak English and bad
I
English.
didn't understand why they have this opera that lasts all of like 5 minutes.
Because they had to cram a fight scene into it as well.
It's like usually when you pay for operas or music shows, they're like 2-3 hours, not 5 minutes. So I'm like, why
you were
are you
expecting them to show another 2 hours of just the
I'm
opera?
expecting you to do something else that would make more sense.
You wanted the show to continue going on during the gunfight?
Yes, let's do that.
It's like the Titanic and the violin quartet.
And then just add on to that the real base, the real foundation for My Tragic Maker is the music in this movie was all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh my word! Pick a tone, please.
It's either nothing or the wrong tone. Several times I turned to my wife and said, like, why does the music not match? I mean, I could have easily heard and it would have fit just as well as a couple of people said they liked the music, and they listened to the soundtrack. That's fine. You can listen to the soundtrack by itself, but have it at least with the movie. It should at least go well with the scene.
It almost felt like they had a temp track, and they're like, let's just license all that music. It's good enough. I don't know.
That's not even a good temp track.
Nope.
Okay, call 911 for James, because I think he's...
It would have been a great scene if that had been included, as the Mangalores are coming into the theater. If it channeled Titanic for a second, and all these musicians look at each other and go, "Gentlemen, it has been an honor." And you see that it's it's an orchestral unit, electric guitarist, a DJ at the counter, and the classical violinist goes, "Let us play, my friends. DJ Rackspot, drop us that beat."
And it must pop, pop, pop!
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. So that is my true treasure maker. It's just the music did not fit this movie in so many ways, and it didn't match with each other, and it didn't match with the movie on the whole, from my opinion.
I agree with you. Right on.
All right. And
Right side, right heel, right hand, right on. Right on, right on. Right on, right on.
And Paul, what was wrong on about this movie for you? What's your tragic maker?
Strap in, boys.
My tragic maker is that a lot of this movie, most of it just doesn't make sense to me. So
okay.
I've already said that. So I'll go with the bonus one of the effects. Just don't hold up to today's standards. They don't hold up to. I remember in the theater going, "What is this?"
Paul, there's a flame skull coming at you.
No,
it's
like
so
even
cool.
like especially like in space, like they use Microsoft Paint for these spaceships, and then the effects, the practical effects. I feel like I'm watching a rip-off of Captain EO. Like what the heck?
Paul, are you watching on your like 8K CinemaScope 100-inch TV? Oh, okay.
Of course.
Okay.
You got to find an old late 90s RCA at like a pawn shop somewhere.
Yeah.
Plug
And if you
that
squint,
in.
Those effects will look great.
Yeah,
if you
it's gonna be
squint and then
awesome.
it kind of like blurs the lines together, it's great. Hey, at least it was colorful. I'll give you that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so the effects were mainly
Yeah, the
trying to
effects
make
just are lousy compared to today's standards,
All right.
except for a few that I mentioned before, was actually
Yeah.
one of my likes.
Yeah.
But most of them do not hold up.
Okay.
They just take me right out of the movie.
Right out of this fifth element. Well, now it's time to put all these elements together. We've entered all our trajectories into the firing computer. Travis, do you have a firing solution for us?
Nope.
I forgot. I
don't
subbed
have-
in
Yeah.
the cable I was going in for
That's fine.
Travis,
Add it in post.
so that so I could still work with you, because this cable was just not cutting it. I
You had to
think
best mental Travis just to keep with us.
exactly. Worst woes. Okay, there we go. All right. No. Target located. Salvo authority at the ready. Whatever. it
There we
says.
go.
All right.
Salvo authority.
Okay, guys, it's time for the moment of truth. Do we rate The Fifth Element a classic? We'd recommend anyone go see this movie, whether or not they've seen it before. A nostalgic, if you enjoyed it as a kid, young adult, whenever you saw it last, then yeah, check it out again if it's been a while. But if you've never seen it before, probably just pass this one by. Or is it a tragic? We'd recommend no one see this film. If you've never seen it before, keep it that way. And if you have seen it before, don't sully any good memories you have of it with a rewatch. Let's begin with the Geek at Arms, guys. I'm going to go with Mike first. What was your final rating for The Fifth Element? You had predicted classic. Where did it end up for you?
Paul convinced me this film is just tragic. No.
Yeah.
I heard tragic. We're going to continue on. Brian.
No, I
Go
do.
ahead.
Honestly, though, I love this film. I'm gonna
okay.
rate it. I'm gonna rate it a classic.
Classic? Okay. All righty.
Flawed as it is, I love it.
All right. I'm real curious. What age were you when you first saw it, would you say, Mike?
Oh, I was in my 20s.
20s, okay.
Well, I mean, granted, how old was I when the film came out is another thing. But it was several years later, and my wife, who usually isn't the sci-fi aficionado, says, "Oh, have you seen this movie? You've got to watch it." And it's like one of the very few science fiction films that she introduced me to, rather than the other way around.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Is it because there was a quote unquote love interest in there? Because that was my wife's favorite part, and I'm like, really?
This love story?
I'm trying to remember if we were dating at the time or not. But anyway.
Okay. Well, so classic for Mike. Brian, what was your final rating from after predicted a classic?
This movie has an awful lot that's wrong with it, but those things, to me, just kind of make it more charming. So
Okay.
I'm going to stick with classic.
It's a classic bad movie. Okay.
You softies. Okay. James, lay down the hammer. I know there's got to be a tragic amongst you.
Paul's words this podcast have touched my heart.
Oh,
I have looked
good.
deep within, and
They've
I've
shrunk 3
realized
sizes.
that all of his words have just caused me to become nauseated with them, because this movie is still fantastic. Does it have flaws? Yes, it does. But when you look at it as a whole, I mean, what movie from 1997's what effects are going to hold up today? I mean,
Titanic.
Many of them better than this one.
I do not like Titanic at all.
Independence Day, I think, holds up. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
it's been a long time too.
Men
I
in
mean,
Black.
a little bit of Men in Black, but considering
Air Force One,
considering where it was made,
my best friend's wedding,
my big fat Greek wedding.
Oh my gosh! Continue, James.
But movies like this don't come across hardly ever anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fun sci-fi action comedy romp.
It's kind of pulpy. It has some pulpiness to it that you don't get much.
It has for whatever flaws it has, it makes up for it with awesome visuals, charm,
and
witty,
heart.
snappy dialogue, heart, and so much more. So it is absolutely a classic.
A classic from James. All right.
Now, do take into context that you did invite in a bunch of podcasters who had an episode 45 trash movies we can't help loving. So,
I will be back if you do Buckaroo Banzai. I will.
Oh, okay.
Oh, please, no.
Me and Paul both have
I was
tried
just watching that last
movie.
night.
Me and Paul both tried watching that movie, and I think we both stopped because we were just,
No, I finished it.
Retro Rewind won't do.
I finished it, and I don't ever want to sit through that again.
Wow. All right. I didn't ask Brian and James, when did you guys first see Fifth Element? Because I'm just curious if this plays into your final rating or not. That's all.
I saw it in the theater.
Same here. I saw it back in 1997. Actually, Brian, we might have saw it together.
We might have.
We were both living in Wichita at the time. And
so were you guys in your 20s?
I was 19 at the time.
Yeah, 22.
Okay. Very cool. For me, I probably saw it. I don't think I saw it when it first came out. I probably saw it closer to when I was in my late teens, 20s. But enough about me. Let's go to our reflux capacitors, or the people that make this time travel possible. If you support the podcast at $5 or more, you get to have a vote on these final ratings as well. And the reflux capacitors rated The Fifth Element a classic as well. So
wow.
We have 4 classics, so it doesn't really matter what me and Paul rated.
I was about to say let's combine our powers and make it a tie.
Okay, I'm not sure what you mean there, Paul.
Me neither.
You don't know what I'm going to rate it, but I'm curious what you're going to rate it, Paul. You had predicted tragic. Did it really end up there for you?
Well, after watching this movie, I'm going to have to quote Ruby Rod here when I say...
What was that? It was bad. It had nothing. No fire, no energy, no nothing. You know I have a shoulder right here, you know? And it must pop, pop, pop. It must be green, okay? Okay?
It was not green for me. Sorry. But I personally don't like this film. I don't know if I'd ever rewatch it, but everyone that I've heard, including my wife who likes it and rewatched it, they like it again. So that kind of fits in with our nostalgic rating of if you liked it before, then you'll like it again. There's that category. Mm-hmm. But for me personally, it's tragic. So I'm going to rate it tragic just to so I can be a voice for those people.
But to also quote Ruby Rod, what's wrong with you?
No.
Wow. So for me, I had predicted classic. Oh yeah, Paul. When did you first see this movie? Did you say
I saw it in the theater when it came out? Yeah.
Okay. For me, I had predicted classic, but man, did it not live up to that. I never care to see this movie again. What? I'd be totally happy if I never did.
What is happening right now?
He is expressing himself on his show, and we are here.
It certainly has elements that are enjoyable, but unlike The Rocketeer, which is just the sum of its parts, I felt like this was less than the sum of its parts. Some of its parts were excellent if they were in isolation. Yeah. But together, I think it's just become sort of this pastiche of teenage, not teenage, just like not glorification. I'm not sure what the word is. Just teenage storytelling. That's what I'll go with. Just very like young adults if they were given $90 million to make a movie. I don't know.
Oh wow!
Isn't that what this costs?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just that
guess-
concept
you know
is
what?
just.
That's probably a diss to some young adult fiction. So never mind.
I was
Let me
about to
scratch
say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But
Paul, do you
tragic.
see what you've done? As Vito Cornelius said, evil begets evil. And by
yeah.
giving it a tragic,
Look,
you've only made it stronger.
Yeah, with great power comes great responsibility. I'm sorry, I need to keep my powers under check here.
That's right.
Now, Paul, do you want to? We could go back and redo My Path and the Holy Grail if you want to give that a tragic.
Wow,
too.
you love it so much you want to rewatch it and re-review it?
You can just rewatch it and re-review it as tragic.
No, I watched too many movies accidentally for this podcast anyway.
Oh yeah, I should have asked. So, what would you get? What would be your final rating for Heart, Paul?
Tragic. You know why? It lacked heart.
Oh. All right. Well, according to the Retro Rewind podcast, with 4 classic ratings, we rate The Fifth Element a disputed classic film. We'd recommend anyone go see this, whether or not you've seen it before. But now it's time to stick around here in 1997 till we figure out what we're doing next. Travis? Okay. Okay.
It's good to go
Oh
nowhere.
my gosh. Feels good to be here in 1997, but we wouldn't have been able to travel back to 1997 to begin with if it weren't for our amazing reflux capacitors, namely Deborah Powers, Geek Devotions, Drew of the Cellcast, Ashley Ruiz, Kennethan, Fabulous Lomax, Rosie Lomax, That's Our Babo, D. Tungsten, Dale, Mr. Lost, Daryl Hafner, Cool Deluxe, in addition to 2 other awesome patrons as well. Thank you all so much for keeping the gigawatts coming. And if you want to help keep us flying and get bonus content for your generosity, head over to retrorewindpodcast.com/support to start.
Great Scott! If my calculations are correct, then this stream is sponsored by PaulJPowers.com.
Hey, Francisco, are there any
What was that, Paul? Sorry, Doc
No,
Brown
sorry.
just really threw me for a loop there.
I know, he usually does, appearing out of nowhere like that. But I was wondering, is there any some free ways to support the show?
You know what? Where we're going, we don't need freeways.
Is there any non-monetary ways?
Yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, Paul. You listening probably enjoyed this episode if you made it this far. So if you aren't driving and we didn't cause an unholy rage in you because me and Paul rated it tragic, tap the share icon on your podcast player for this episode and send it to a friend. Say, I know you like the movie The Fifth Element, or maybe I know you hate The Fifth Element. Here are some people that agree with you. So,
but still rated a classic.
So I thought you might like to listen to this podcast as well. And that'd be a great way to share the show for free.
Cool, and I'll bet they'll thank you for it. And
Maybe.
Speaking of thanking people, we want to give a big elemental hug to all our friends for joining us here, sharing their thoughts on The Fifth Element, and we'll go by alphabetical. So, Brian, where can people find you online? Is there anything cool you got going on that people should know about?
Well, you can find James and I on the Woolheads podcast, woolheadspod.com, where we review Season 2 of Amazon's The Wheel of Time.
Oh, nice.
Cool. Nice.
All right. And James, how can people find you online, and what's going on with you?
Well, of course, you can find all 3 of us at geekatarms.com and facebook.com/geekatarms. And you can find me on Instagram under Dice Night EDC, where I combine my shared hobbies of everything geeky and the world of everyday carry together.
Nice.
Very nice.
And Mike Fraley, how can people find you online, and what's going on with you?
Well, what's going on with me is I am also a co-host of the Geek at Arms podcast. I know, but also since Brian plugged a Woolheads, I'm also going to plug the Christian Gamers Guild, which you can find at christian-gamers-guild.org, of which Brian is, are you still co-president of that?
No, I am
No.
just a at-large board member.
Just at-large board member. Okay. So he's living large as a board member.
Mike
Doctor says you need to cut that out, by the way.
Isn't Geek at Arms also on Instagram now?
Oh, Geek at Arms is also on Instagram. We are Geek at Arms is also on Blue Sky, and we are Arms Geek on Twitter.
And what is Geek at Arms? Why don't you tell us some about that? Because I'm not sure what that is, except I do know. But I'm curious. People may not know what it is.
Sure. Geek at Arms is a podcast camped at the crossroads of geek culture and Christian faith, where we talk about a number of subjects that are oriented around the geekosphere, whether that is historical swordsmanship, science fiction, fantasy, and every other month we review a film club film.
Very cool.
So also some actual play RPG experiments that we're running.
In our
Very
next
cool.
episode, which we'll hopefully be releasing in the next couple of weeks, we'll be taking a look at the classic Western movie, The Magnificent Seven.
Nice.
Oh, cool. Very nice.
I saw that. It's Three Amigos ripoff.
Three Amigos did do it more efficiently.
The Thrilling Three. And what is our zombie apocalypse plan? Oh, wait, that's your guys' shit.
Hey, stay in your lane, Francisco.
Oh, stay in your lane. He's been reviewing films 15 years or older. We need to really watch the stay in your lane.
but how long has he been coming up with zombie apocalypse plans of the week, Mike? That's your role, my man. I will defend you.
Aw.
That's fair. I don't mean to walk on your guys' toes. And thank you so much for coming on. It's so awesome having you guys back again. I remember last time you were on for the thing, you know.
No, we haven't reviewed the thing.
The Wrath
No,
of
I
Khan.
want to review the thing. For Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan. Awesome having you guys for that and for this. Yeah, thank you so much for coming back again and being a part of the show. And thank you, Paul, for always being here, and for all you rewinders, new or old, for another fun voyage.
You're welcome. And you can find me, pauljpowers.com, at pauljpowers.com.
Whoa, and you can find me on our Discord for show announcements or just to say hi. Join us there at retroreonpodcast.com/Discord. Insert Culture Box bumper right here.
And as Nathan just said, we are now part of the Culture Box Media Network. Find all shows unpacking truth through story, comedy, and geekery at culturebox.media.
Thank you, EXO, and thank you all for listening. We pray you are more joyful today than when you first hit play. But like a Pokemon, we gotta catch you all for the next episode of the Retro Rewind Podcast. Find out where we might be going by listening to our ship's logs at retrorewindpodcast.com/story. But wherever it is, we'll catch you there next time.
Yes! What's wrong with you? What you screaming for? Every 5 minutes there's something, a bomb or something? I'm leaving.
Okay. Wow. Awesome, guys. Okay, so everyone watching, Aristotle, Bobo.
Right side, right heels, right hands, right on. Right on, right on. Right on, right on.
AK Cole, everyone, CT, everyone who's here, thank you so much for hanging out. We're now going to end the stream.
No, we're streaming all night long.
All night long.
All night long. All night. Our spiritual speculation topic. We apparently have several for tonight. Let's see. And yeah, but thank you all for hanging out. Hopefully you had fun. And I will be back online Saturday to play some more Phantasy Star 4 on
with
Saturday
a new
morning.
audio cord.
Oh yeah, a new audio cord that hopefully works just fine. So we shall see. But until next time, you guys, we usually do a silly face here to end, so feel free to join me. And here is your stream face.
Sir, are you classified as human?
Negative. I am a meat popsicle.
Lilu Dallas multi